What's up, everyone, and welcome to ClearTalk. So in this video, we're going to be talking about uh, the church ceremony, the sermon from the bishop um, that has just been all over the news ever since it happened. And so we're gonna listen to the words she said. We're gonna listen to the reaction from Trump, and then of course go over some reactions from others since, including the bishop herself. And I'm gonna give my opinion on it. So thank you for joining me here. Continue, consider subscribing, like, share, comment, all that good stuff if you're liking the content. So and then of course, if you would, please. No. Check out my other channels, JMD Drummer, JMDPLAY. If you'd like to subscribe there, that would be wonderful as well. Like, share, comment as over there as well. Check out the Discord at JMD Nation. The one-time donation QR there, or you can go up JMD Nation Patreon, $3 a month. Any kind of support you give is very, very much appreciated because you're awesome. All right. So let's up over here. Okay, so yes, we had okay. So every on inauguration day, there's a church that's across from the White House that is a church. There's a tradition of the presidents going over there after they have been sworn in and all that. To go over there for a service where there's multiple like church leaders from different types of uh, I guess kind of different types of denominations, or even um maybe even different religions too. I don't know. There's usually multiple um kind of speeches and things, or at least comments made uh, in respect to the new president coming in. It's kind of a thing that it's traditional. It's done every single time. And this particular Bishop Marianne Edgar uh, Bud or Buddies, I guess. I don't know how you say her last name. She got up there and gave a little, maybe about a 3-4 minute little sermon thing, and let's just say Trump appeared to not really like it. So we're gonna listen to it, and from for the full thing, or at least what I have found, the most amount of the speech, or that I have found, and we'll go from there. So, all right, swap over. Put my headphones on. All right, so here she is, and let's listen.
Make one final plea, Mr. President. Millions have put their trust in you. And as you told the nation yesterday, you have felt the providential hand of a loving God. In the name of our God, I ask you to have mercy upon the people in our country who are scared now. There are gay, lesbian, and transgender children in Democratic, Republican, and independent families, some who fear for their lives. And the people who pick our crops and clean our office buildings, who labor in poultry farms and meat packing plants, who wash the dishes after we eat in restaurants and work the night shifts in hospitals, they may not be citizens or have the proper documentation, but the vast majority of immigrants are not criminals. They pay taxes and are good neighbors. They are faithful members of our churches and mosques, synagogues, wadara, and temples. I ask you to have mercy, Mr. President, on those in our communities whose children fear that their parents will be taken away, and that you help those who are fleeing war zones and persecution in their own lands to find compassion and welcome here. Our God teaches us that we are to be merciful to the stranger, for we were all once strangers in this land. May God grant us the strength and courage to honor the dignity of every human being, to speak the truth to one another in love, and walk humbly with each other and our God for the good of all people in this nation and the world. In the name of our God, I ask you to have mercy upon the people in our country who are scared now. There are gay, lesbian, and transgender children in...
So the first part of it, that first section was showing directly the video that was directly for her. Now you're getting the angle of their response. Before we get into all that, you can see that, and you hear, she's speaking from the teachings and the way that she perceives the teachings of God, or and Jesus, somebody that from her perspective, how she defines, and the teachings and how we are supposed to love, care for people. She's simply asking for mercy for people that you do not know, for people that are scared, strangers, and or maybe in people you do not understand, maybe, and you find it difficult to identify with, or also, as she named, people that do multiple different types of jobs and stuff throughout the United States that may not be documented or may not have the correct documentation, but they are citizens here. They've been living here. They've been working here. They pay taxes. They are by all means a part of society and a part of these the system that we all live under. And she's just basically saying, look, uh, she's heard the talks. Everybody has heard all the intentions, and she's just asking in this moment to hopefully break through and be like, please have mercy based on the teachings of our God, the teachings that we are supposed to abide by from Jesus, and caring and loving one another, feeding the sick and the hungry and the blind, and all these things, which he indeed did teach. And it's amazing that the reaction that you will see visually here, and then the reactions that you've gotten from Trump and other officials since this. And it's the things that are being said about this woman for merely speaking about kindness, mercy, sympathy, understanding to others, and the things that have been called to her. All right, let's continue. So you can see now from the other angle, how this group of people, okay, Trump, Melania, Vance, this is his wife, this is one of the sons, this is what, Don Jr., this is, I can't remember which one this was. I can't remember his name right now. His wife, you have the daughter back here, and that douchebag. This is one of the other, I think, daughters, if I'm not mistaken, or something. This is one of the granddaughters. I think this is the one that, um, I'm not sure. Maybe I'm getting this wrong. I was thinking that this is one that doesn't particularly like really, um, or maybe I'm thinking about somebody else. But anyways, this is the whole Trump clan, okay, and the, administration clan. This is so. You can see the reactions.
Democratic, Republican, and independent families, some who fear for their lives. And the people who pick our crops and clean our office buildings, who labor in poultry farms and meat packing plants, who wash the dishes after we eat in restaurants and work the night shifts in hospitals, they may not be citizens or have the proper documentation, but the vast majority of immigrants are not criminals.
The one that I actually, in this whole group, that I was the most interested in how she was going to react was honestly JD Vance's wife. Because she honestly is the oddball out in this whole crew. I mean, you could somewhat argue maybe Melania, but I mean, not really. Um, but there's something different. Something I feel, I don't know, maybe I'm all wrong. Maybe a lot of people are, but something's different there. And she has she's very tuned in to what she's saying. She doesn't even really recognize him trying to make comments. I mean, not really. Which I find interesting. I'm gonna go back.
For documentation. But the vast majority of immigrants are not criminals. They pay taxes and are good neighbors. They are faithful members of our churches and mosques. I'm a person of faith, surrounded by people of faith. And with God's help, I believe that unity in this country is possible. Not perfectly, for we are imperfect people and an imperfect union, but sufficient enough to keep us all believing.
I think this is the very end that they kind of cut off a second ago. So I think they kind of bled in a view of the rest of them. There was more too.
In and working to realize the ideals of the United States
may not have
of
cut this very
America.
well.
Ideals expressed in the Declaration of Independence with its assertion of innate human equality and dignity. And we are right to pray for God's help as we seek unity, for we need God's help. But only if we ourselves are willing to tend to the foundations upon which unity depends.
All right.
This morning,
so there you go. That was the initial. That was the first group. Okay, I mean that was that was the initial sermon speech. It was given by this bishop, and then of course you saw the reactions. It didn't really show that. I saw a longer version of the reactions, to where even at the end when she said thank you and went away, you then started getting. Let's see here. Where's the right here? You started getting like he just sort of shook his head like what, and then they were Vance and him looked at each other and he said Trump said something to, or seemed to mouth something to the fact of can you believe that or something, and or can you believe this or whatever, and Vance kind of did some sort of agreement type of response. I don't know. Some of the rest of them, I think she even made some sort of a weird smirky smile or something, and they said something. But anyways, it was just, you could just tell that none of them were pleased with what was said, and it was just, whatever. All right, so then we have, this is Trump outside of the church, when reporters, as he was leaving, a reporter stopped him and asked him what he thought of the service.
What did you think of the service?
What did you think? Did you like it? Did you find it exciting? Not too exciting, was it? I didn't think it was a good service, no. Thank you very much.
Thank you, press. Thank you, press.
They could do much better.
All right, so that was his initial remarks outside, just saying he didn't like it. They could have done much better. You know, clearly didn't like it. All right, and now we have this coming from DC News Now. Just popped up a minute ago on my feed, so this is like newer information, or has some newer information about it. It first goes on to explain what happened, which we just all went through, and then let's see here. All right, so then Trump and Vance listened. Okay, wait. Trump demands apologies from Bishop, who asked him to have mercy on transgender kids and immigrants returning to the White House. Press, which we just heard, not too excited was it. Later in the early hours of Wednesday, he fumed on social media. This so-called bishop, who spoke at the National Prayer Service on Tuesday morning, was a radical left hardline Trump hater. She brought her church into the world of politics in a very ungraceful way, Trump wrote, adding that the service was uninspiring, nasty in tone, and not compelling or smart. She is not very good at her job. She and her church owe the public an apology, he wrote. This is what he said on True Social after the fact. Uninspiring, nasty in tone, and not compelling or smart. She's not very good at her job. A woman clearly being simply just saying to have mercy and be kind to those you may not understand, or those that are underprivileged, and things like that. Simple. These are teachings of Jesus. If you don't think so, you clearly need to open up your Bible and look and read. And these are the types of teachings that I would even ascribe to the actual historic Jesus and what he most likely actually said. Because clearly, admittedly, I'm not a Christian anymore. That's years ago. I walked away, and I'm, whatever. But if you do not know this, then you do not know your own religion, or this religion, Christianity, a religion that's supposed to follow the teachings of Christ. Arguably, a lot of them don't. Calls and text messages to a crisis line operated by the Trevor Project, an LGBTQ youth suicide prevention organization, rose by 33% on Inauguration Day. The group said this week, after jumping an unprecedented 700% on November 6th, the day after Trump was elected. On Monday, during his first hours in office, Trump signed executive orders on transgender rights and immigration, one of the latter in which a federal judge blocked on Thursday. His sweeping executive order on gender, which pledges to defend women from transgender ideology, directs the federal government to recognize only two, male and female. Trump taunted the order via teleconference Thursday at the World Economic Forum in Davos. Yeah, I listened to that speech myself, and I was just, wow. Adding to his administration will no longer allow transgender athletes to compete in women's sports and transition-related surgeries, which he claimed have become the rage, will from here on out occur very rarely. talking about just transition related surgeries. He did not say what restrictions on gender affirming surgeries will look like or specify any age range, or limit. And that was, for me, extremely concerning. Because that's what he said in this forum when he talked about transgender athletes and then transitioning surgeries. And I was like, what? Are we talking about adults here too? Like, what are you just gonna is that the idea where there's going to be a just sweep of not allowing it? That's weird. Um, White House press secretary Caroline Leavitt, whatever, told Fox News Wednesday that uh, Buddy or Booty or that sounds bad, have chosen to weaponize the pulpit, adding that her remarks were egregious and she should apologize to President Trump for the lies that she told. What lies? What lies did she tell? She didn't even accuse Trump of anything, for starters. Everyone there was shocked and mortified. In interviews with Time Magazine and NPR, I'm going to say this is Buddy, says she does not hate Trump as he said in his True Social post, but she also has no plans to apologize to him or anyone else. I'm not going to apologize for asking for mercy for others, as she shouldn't. Uh, Senator Bernie Moreno, Republican from Ohio, who campaigned heavily against transgender athletes last year, called Buddy a woke bishop in the post on X. Who Moreno, who immigrated to Florida as a child from Colombia, said Buddy's plea for mercy for undocumented immigrants was insult to all of us who came to this country the right way. Undocumented immigrants does not mean they're here in the wrong way. For starters, there's a difference between undocumented immigrants and illegal immigrants. Undocumented immigrants are here legally. They just don't have their documents and stuff yet. They're in waiting for, a lot of them are in waiting for trials or procedural stuff to try to become legal or technically, become citizens. Representative Mike Collins said Buddy should be added to the deportation list. Born in New Jersey, she's an American citizen. But this asshole here says she should be put on the deportation list. Others attacked more personal. Sean Hannity, whom he described as a so-called bishop, the Buddy, made the service about her very own deranged political beliefs with a disgraceful prayer full of fear-mongering and division. Matt Walsh of the Daily Wire did douchebag. Said Buddy is a fake bishop and mocked her appearance. Who knew Satan wore granny glasses and stole his haircut from John Denver? Said Greg Gutfield. These is Fox News personalities and Daily Wire's, the whole online thing from Ben Shapiro. Trump has changed, Gutfield later remarked on his late night show. He didn't even call her ugly. That was the expectation, apparently, that he would. During an appearance on ABC The View Wednesday morning, Buddy 65 says she is not surprised her remarks were politicized. How could it not be politicized? One of the things I caution about is the culture of contempt in which we live that immediately rushes to the worst possible interpretations of what people are saying. This part of the air we breathe now. Speaking to the time, she does not feel personally at risk over Trump's targeting her. Although people have said they do wish me death, and that's a little heartbreaking. It was a pretty mild sermon, Buddy said on Tuesday service. I certainly wasn't. It certainly wasn't a fire and brimstone service. It was as respectful and as universal as I could, with the exception of making someone who has been entrusted with such enormous influence and power to have mercy on those who are most vulnerable. So this woman's just being called all kinds of things, even attacked for her appearance, all from the right wing that, Fox News and everything, and, Daily Wire, everybody else who, claims to be God fearing, church going, religious Christians. It's incredible. I don't even. They are a meme of themselves. They are truly a complete meme of themselves. It's ridiculous. I completely applaud her for all the things that she said. I think it was fantastic. I think she hit the nail right on the head. And like I said, it wasn't even like a personal attack. She was just asking for him to, like I said, she was trying to hopefully have some sort of a last, a ditch effort kind of thing to get him to maybe reconsider from an actual like moral point of view. But clearly, he has no morals. Clearly, nobody sitting with him had morals. Vance's wife is still up in the air, but um, I don't. It's incredible. I don't know what I mean. It's ridiculous. So I think, like I said, I think she did a wonderful job, and she's been known. This is not the first time she has done this type of thing. She has apparently she even somewhat made some kind of comments or something about him during his first um, campaign or first presidency. I can't remember what it was. Um, but this is not the first time she has said something about him or his actions, and she's well known for speaking up on more liberal type issues as a bishop. Uh, Good job, applaud her, and I hope she stays strong and isn't wavered in any kind of way by any actions. And uh, yeah, good job. So let me know what you think on this whole situation. That you think. Let me know what you think of what she said, the remarks, and backlash since then, and yeah, we're gonna go a little bit deeper here into the birthright stuff in a second, along with the deportation stuff. I've got more things to talk about. So thank you very much, and till next time, peace. Clear talk. I'm out.